right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We the GMS New Orleans camp here to bring you a live camp. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakakadash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwat, you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe.
Shalom.
All right, for this live camp, through the Spirit, again, pray that this is edifying, to you believers, But we're gonna talk about, the grace period, man. That we are in and what you should be doing in this grace period. All right, because this is a window of opportunity that you can either it can either make you or break you, in a sense. Okay, you don't want to bullshit here in the grace period and fumble your crown, or fall into mischief, or fall into wickedness and be destroyed by the Lord. All right, the whole point of this grace period is to make up for lost time. All right, make up for the lost ground that you've been doing in your past, early in your life, in order to please the Lord. All right, putting all those things, putting that old man to the side, and doing everything holy and acceptable to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Okay, kick me off the room, up for sure.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, and verse 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. Verse 15. What then, question mark, shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace, question mark? Yahweh forbid.
Yahweh forbid. All right. So they have these, these other groups that's out here pushing the law, which we understand that we can't keep the law 100%. All right. So we're going to go off. We're in the flesh still. So we're going to constantly go off day by day. All right. So every day, we pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that he forgives us. All right. Forgives us. But that doesn't mean to continue to sin. All right. There's two different types of people in this world. It's somebody that's going to know that they're doing wrong and make an attempt to stop it, and they got people that's going to do wrong and say, fuck it, I already did wrong, let me continue doing wrong. All right, and that's not the mindset to be. That's the mindset of a nigga, all right, of a 2/3. If you have that mindset that, all right, I ate this, I went to this party and I ate these meatballs, that they got at these baby showers and stuff, and I find out that it has pork in it, are you going to be like, well, I already ate one, might as well let me finish the plate? Or are you going to be like, oh no, I can't do this no more, I didn't know, but I'm going to stop once I find out that it's wrong? All right, that's obvious in one of the ways that you could please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right, turning away from wickedness, from wrongdoing. All right, hit me with that Ephesians, Baba Bishop. 2 and 1.
This is a book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 1. And you had been quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins. Verse 2. Where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Verse 3. Among whom also we all had our conversations in times past in lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others.
You can stop right there. And once upon a time, before coming to this truth, man, we walked in our lust. Whatever we want to do as thou wilt. I can tell you, I was one of those people, and these brothers can tell you as well. That we used to do some nigga shit. All right, and do some things that was worthy for us to be put to death immediately. All right, but by the grace of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, who called us into this thing, all right, it's our job to not go back to that. All right, to reach forward to the things, reach forward to the kingdom, to the crown, that the Lord has promised us to do right. Come on. Let me finish that Ephesians, then I'm gonna start getting your precepts. Keep going.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 3. Among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. Verse 4. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last one, verse 5.
Verse 5. Even when we were dead in sins, had quickened us together with Hamashiach Yahushai. By grace ye are saved.
God. So again, we know that our what it tells you that our righteousness is as filthy rags. Okay, so everything underneath the sun, you know, Jake probably didn't did it if it concerned with wickedness, you know, before this truth. Okay, but again, knowing that we were supposed to be put to death for these things, it behoove you in a sense to want to do right. All right, knowing that the Lord is set this up for you and you only. Speaking of you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, all right, the true children of Israel. All right, you can get your precept. Con grace.
Yeah.
Let me get that first one.
Con, that's that word grace on the online etymology. It says the Most High's unmerited favor, love, or help. It says pardon, divine grace, mercy.
Con, you can stop right there. I heard a couple words, good words in there. Pardon, all right, mercy, all right. Imagine, you know, we see all of this going on, you know, with DJ Donald, you know, all of these rappers and stuff, all of these people who really, you know, didn't deserve to come out of jail. He got them out of jail with a pardon, all right. And what that allowed them to do, come back in what pretty much be wicked in this world, but in a sense for us, being pardoned away from our sins, you know, that's going to be that clean slate that the Lord has promised us for us to receive, you know, these crowns, you know. You got more?
That's pretty much.
Come. You got your precept, right?
This is I got it. This Baruch 4:28. It says, "For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more."
You got it.
Yeah, because you were just going into, you know, how what you had made a certain point that I had brought it out for.
Still on topic of grace, I know.
But it was something that you had said. But even though, you know, we go off, because it said you brought out something. I think it was in Romans where it said the Most High forbid.
Oh God, yeah.
That we keep
Continuous.
continue to do sin.
Yeah.
Right? Because we under grace. Okay, but yeah, we gotta seek the Lord 10 times more, because you know we don't willingly, you know, just go off, right? Just the goal, even though we subject to sin, the goal is to keep doing better, right? You got it.
Yeah.
It was a point you had made, though. I had brought it up.
Yeah, I know where you're getting at, but you know, just back you up, you know, that point of separating yourself, man. That's the whole point of being holy. The word holy goes into being separate. So we are the holy saints of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, we're supposed to be that holy woman of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, not dealing with none of these philosophies, not dealing with none of these things that people other than Yahweh Bashem Yahushai told us to do. All right, so being, you know, that person, you know, to continue to want to sin. All right, you basically you digging your own grave, man. All right, the Timothy. Yeah. Get the Timothy from the Bible shop.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushai.
Keep going.
Verse 2. And the thing that thou hast heard of me.
Wait, where you at?
2 Timothy 2.
1. So like 2 Timothy chapter 1 and 7.
This 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. For Yahweh had not given us the spirit of fear, but of the power and love and of sound mind. Verse 8. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, nor of me, his prisoner, but be thou partakers of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Verse 9, that's the point.
Verse 9. Who have saved us and called us with our holy calling, not according to our word, but according to his own purpose and grace.
Read it one more time.
Who had called us, who has saved us and called us with a holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Hamashiach Yahushua before the world began.
You know what it said in Jeremiah, like he told us that in the womb, you know, he profited us to be prophets. You know, it was ordained for us to be prophets, you know, coming out of the womb. Okay, roughly paraphrasing. You know, it's like that's wrong, but you get the point. But again, it tells you that the Lord pretty much what was it, verse 9? Not according to our works, because our works is been from this point a couple years back was complete bullshit. You know, things that didn't really need to even be put on paper. All right, things that we don't hope to be remembered, which is why we're working hard. You know, to have that clean slate, to have that mercy, to have that pardon. You know, working in this grace period that we're in. All right, but it tells you at the end of it, verse 9 of 2 Timothy chapter 1 and 9. But according to his own purpose and grace, which was given in Hamashiach Yahushua before the world began. All right, this is the Lord's story, man. All right, so the Lord does what he wants to do at the end of the day. All right, he wanted his people to go off at the beginning just to glorify them at the end. That's what he's going to do. Okay.
Yeah,
you got it.
Kind of. This is just further going into you know, backing you brothers up, you know, on the grace, right? This is talking about the elect. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4, and I'll start at verse 12. Points a little further down. It says, "For the bewitching of naughtiness do obscure the things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence do have undermined the simple mind." It says, "He, being made perfect in a short time, fulfilled a long time." And that's what the Lord is bringing us through now. While we have this grace period, the Lord is making men in a short time perfect, right? And that goes into the fulfillment of a long time, because what we're learning right now is basically thousands of years of history, you know, prophecy, archaeology, okay, all in a very small window, so to speak. And it says, verse 14, it says, "For his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hastened he to take him away from among the wicked." Verse 15, and this is the point. It says, this the people saw and understood it not, neither laid up they this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and they Salakia, and that he that respected unto his chosen. Okay, so you know, the grace and the mercy is with the elect of the nation of Israel, meaning it doesn't pertain to anyone else. And we know, pursuing back to Psalms 50 and 5, it says that, what does it say? It says that the saints gather my saints together, those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Okay, so this is not all inclusive. It's just for the Israelites and chiefly the elect.
It's a members only club. Okay, so being a part of this agreement with Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, this covenant that we had, okay, to not go off no more and to return into the Lord. All right, but again, our people stiff-necked, all right, still want to be like the heathen, want to be like those people that's less than you, which makes no sense. All right, and want to follow what they believe. All right, because everything that they have is microwave fun, you know, things that is here and is gone, you know, within seconds. All right, but the Lord, you know, again, has been doing nothing but trying to put us on game to let us know, man, just turn from your ways and I'm gonna give you everything. All right, just trust in me, believe in me, and I'm gonna give you everything that you need, you know. You still got the precept?
Yeah.
Go.
I had one to back up what he said about learning all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in a short time.
Mm-hmm.
This is out of the book of John, chapter 6, and verse 63. And it reads, it says, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You know, just pretty much backing up what this brother saying, you know, a lot of us, we not even touching 30 yet,
Right.
you know, and we didn't, you know, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, in this grace period, okay, we have you know, we're getting to understand this, you know, the holy scrolls, man. You know, these deep dog breakdowns, you know, the prophecies. And it's through the mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai that we getting these things.
And that's a beautiful point, you know, laying back in off both of you brothers know, you know, within this short moment, you know, this ain't nothing but a blink of an eye for the Lord, man. That what we're going through.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing, because we have the answers that you have these different scholars and you know, elites, right? They've been searching for these answers, man. You know, there's questions about the scriptures, and here you have, in a short span of time, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, that have the very thing in which the whole world was looking for.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, and that points towards, you know, what you should be doing in this grace period, which is chasing wisdom, man. So chasing the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, basically learning the playbook of what you need to do, how to operate to win, you know, to win your crown, to you know, receive your crown. This is what the Lord is telling us to do. All right, He's not telling you to just completely don't do anything. All right, just watch videos and don't put make yourself a sacrifice. You know, just the half-ass. No, the Lord is not telling you to do none of these things. He's telling you to go out, preach the word, learn. You know, continue to get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding while you can. And at that point in time, I'm going to protect you. All right, I'm going to protect you, and I'm going to just watch over you throughout these whole entire things. And you're going to be safe because you know what my will was. You know what I wanted you to do. All right. Somebody said something. I forget. You hold that Genesis for me. Get that Genesis for me real quick.
Gotcha. This is Genesis chapter 6 and verse 7. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man who I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creepy things, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh.
Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. All right, but just bringing this out for being, you know, another example. All right, this is the first time that the Lord, you know, was pissed off with our people, pissed off with everybody, to the point that He only kept Noah and his sons and their wives. All right, and that is another example of what's coming. All right, so if you don't have that grace, if you don't have the works, you know, following you to be received by Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, all right, you're going to end up in destruction, not by water, what they did in the first death, but by fire, by these ICBM nuclear missiles, which is going to be the second death, you know. But you got your precept.
I got it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55. I'm gonna start at 6. It says, "Seek ye the Lord while He may be found; call ye upon Him while He is near."
And that's letting you know that at some point in time that the Lord is going to hide His face again. All right, He's going to hide Himself, you know, away from, you know, you niggas that's waiting for the last minute. All right, thinking that I could just, you know, have me a Tom Cruise slide underneath the garage while it's falling, you know, and make it into the chariot. All right, that Jake really thinking that they could make it on the not really think, because some people are going to make it, you know, just in the nick of time, but some people are really putting their bets that they could make it in at 59 seconds, you know, thinking that they could just beat that buzzer beater. All right, and that's not the case for a lot of you niggas, man, that's going to wait.
Back you up, man. What you really saying, those Jakes who know this truth,
yep,
but don't want to follow after.
Right.
Those gonna be the ones who say, you know what, I got time. I can bullshit around. Then I get in there when it's time to get it.
Yeah.
You got it. Huh?
Yeah, you can't keep on putting this thing off day to day, man. All right. At some point in time, you know, you got to lock in and do the work, man. And that's plain and simple, you know.
Got a precept.
You got
a little more.
Oh, you got a little more.
Verse 7, it says, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Oh.
It says, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him. And to our power, he will abundantly pardon.
God. And that's plain, man. The Lord is telling you, do this, and I will do that. All right? So turn away from your wickedness, turn away from sin, and I'm going to, what did it tell you at the end?
It says he would abundantly pardon.
He's going to abundantly pardon, all right? Within that grace that he promised.
Nah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, but that's part of that grace period. You have to turn back in order to receive that.
Uh,
You got it.
you want to say
I
something?
was gonna tell him to give verse 3 on that in that same chapter.
This Isaiah 55:3. It says, incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live.
God.
And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David.
Sure mercies of David. All right? Because again, we know that what David did, David was supposed to be put to death. All right? That was some crazy shit that King David did. All right? And if you're not familiar with the scriptures, King David, you know, lusted after a woman that wasn't his, ended up getting a woman that wasn't his, and getting her husband killed in battle just to take his woman. All right? All that in the sense of anybody, that's some fucked up shit, you know? Huh? Oh, yep, Khan. And he to the census, Khan of Israel to the census, you know, which was of his the sins that David did. But again, all of that being said, you know, the Lord still made promises to King David, you know, that he was going to basically give him the kingdom, all right, and his role of everything that, you know, that comes with it, you know. But get him up and then get you.
This is Sirach 5.
Oh,
and-
okay.
This is Sirach 5:1, and it says, set not thy heart upon thy good,
That was it.
and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For Yahweh will surely revenge thy pride. Say not that I sin, that I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? For Yahweh is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Verse 5, it says, concerning the appropriation, be not without fear to add sin upon sin, and say not, with his mercy is great, and he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation be set it upon sinners. And then, you know, verse 7, it says, make no terror to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord cometh forth, and in thy security shall be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
So that pretty much goes back into that word of iniquity. All right, stacking sin on top of sin. All right, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to continue to stack sin on sin on sin, and think in your head, oh, all right, the Lord got me. I'm just going to continue to do wrong, and the Lord just going to take care of me. No, at that point, you're just being completely disobedient. All right, so why would the Lord take care of somebody that's obviously just disregarding all of my words, you know, thinking that I got you in this situation? Like, you're not listening to me at all, you know?
That's because, you know, what they teach the people in the world is basically come as you are, and because the Lord offer grace, which you open up with the, you know, the right verse, you know, the best verse, pretty much, because the Lord offers grace and mercy, you can just do whatever you want to do, and he just gonna forgive you your sins, and you're not gonna be held accountable in a day of judgment. But that's not what the scriptures say, man. You know,
and, you know, backing you up, you know, the philosophy of these damn heathens, man. All right, so they're teaching, you know, taught our people this, and now we got the pastors, you know, throughout the church, just through the Catholics, the Baptists, and all that stuff, telling you that again, come as you are, and, you know, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure you come to church on Sunday.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Once you come to church on Sunday, everything is going to reset, you know. But as soon as you leave church, what they say, they got the catfish outside, down here in New Orleans, you're gonna have a seafood boil somewhere, you know, right after.
Right, and I just want to say, and I got a precept, you know, they basically tell you the law is done away with, but make you pay tithes, which is directly going back to the law.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And that's what they do. It's hypocritical. I'm going to get this real quick. This is Romans 8 and verse 2. It says, for the law of the spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua have made me free from the law of sin and death. So that's what the Lord came to do when he died, man. He made us free from the law of sin and death. You commit a sin, and then you get put to death. The Lord, through his grace and mercy, we don't just get put to death immediately.
Right.
That was the whole point.
Right. Yeah, beautiful point. Because again,
Go ahead, make your point.
yeah, again, you know, what is the wages of sin? The
Death.
wages of sin is death. All right. So again, the Lord is not telling you that. Again, what I said earlier, the Lord has been doing nothing but putting us on game. All right. The prophets has been doing nothing but putting us on game of what to do, how to act, how to react to certain things, and just how to operate, you know, our daily ways and lives. All right. But again, if you're gonna sit here and think that, all right, I'm gonna continue to concern myself with death, you know, how do you think you're gonna be saved out of that? You know, it just doesn't make sense. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this out, back up what that brother had brought out. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 15 and 19. And it reads, it says, and his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin.
Haven't given any man license to sin, man. All right, so and you got to get my one of my favorites, the one in Sirach, the offend less. I think Sirach 20, is it 27 or is it 33? It's one of those. Sirach 27.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, but he says that the Lord hasn't given any man license to sin. All right, what we're supposed to be doing is, again, getting our mind right and offending less, which that precept is going to go into. You know.
I was going to bring out that word license real quick for you. This is the word license out of the online etymology dictionary. It says grant formal authorization to do with what would be illegal to do without.
That's one more time.
It said this is the online etymology for the word license. It's a verb. It says grant formal authorization to do, right? And it says what would be illegal to do without.
So it's wrong. All right. So the Lord is not going to grant you, you know, the opportunity to continue to do wrong, or permission to do wrong. You know, why would you want to continue to do wrong if you know that it's going to lead to death? All right. It just doesn't make sense. It tells you that the Lord is not the author of confusion. All right. So at some point in time, the scriptures got to start making sense that it's pointing into the direction of being righteous to the best of your ability. All right. Not by just following the law, because again, we know we can't keep the law, but having your faith into Yahweh Shem Yahushai in receiving his love and his mercy. You know? Okay, you got it.
This is Romans chapter 6, verse 12. It says, let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto our power as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto our power.
It's
the point.
It's like just you had me thinking about, you know, a situation I went through with a friend in the world. We listened to this song, and it was off the Juice WRLD album, Brent Faiyaz, and it was dealing with something about the demons inside of you. I can feel the demons inside of you, something like that. Just let it in. And the person I was with was like, I do that sometimes. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wait, what? Like, you let the demons inside you? So you telling me that you succumb, you know, to the wickedness, that you embrace it willingly. And just I wasn't even fully in the truth yet at the time, but just hearing that, it was like, that sounds a lot bit off right now, bro. Like, I don't know if I want to be around you, and you telling me that you just demons fuck with you, and you just let them in. Like, nah, it don't work like that.
You already got demons on you.
Yeah, come on.
verse 14. It says, "For sin shall not have dominion over you, but ye are not under the law, but under grace."
Come on.
What then? Question mark. Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid it.
Come on. Came out again.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, we started. I think we only did like 2 of those verses.
Okay.
You started a
So
little
at
bit higher.
14?
Yeah.
Okay.
You started a little bit higher, but just have to reiterate that point, man. It doesn't mean to continue in sin. It doesn't mean continue in wrongdoings, man. All right. So again, why would you want to continue to piss the Lord off? You're right. The person that's supposed to come and save you. You know.
That's why I said, neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin.
Mhm.
When you yield, I mean, you know how you go to a yield sign, you look to see if you got the permission to go.
Right.
But when you do that, you don't yield your body, you keep it in a subjection.
Right.
Not saying, oh, I'm gonna just give myself over into this.
Right.
Even though I know I'm going off, I'm gonna just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you gotta fight that off. You gotta yield your instruments unto righteousness, man.
And it's not an easy battle, because we
Right.
understand that we want to lose a lot of these battles that we're fighting within ourselves, fighting with these demons in this world. But the objective is to continue to fight. All right, continue to fight and overcome at the end of the day. Let them get that, then we're gonna come and shoot through.
This is
Come.
Proverbs 24:16. For a just man falleth 7 times
Mm-hmm.
and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Read that first part again.
Come. For a just man falleth 7 times
Mm-hmm.
and riseth up again.
So that 7 goes into completion. It doesn't mean just 7 times that he's going to fall. All right, it's going to be a number of times that you're going to fall, being here in this goddamn hellhole that we're in, man. But what it tells you at the end of that verse,
But he rises up again.
he rises up again. All right, so knowing that this is a spiritual battle, this is a spiritual fight that we're in. All right, it doesn't mean get your ass whooped and lay down. All right, you don't want to lay down. You don't lay down in a actual physical fight. So why would you want to lay down in a spiritual fight? All right, why would you want to have that spirit of giving up? When times are getting hard. All right, that's clearly that the Lord is not dealing with you, and sounds like what the brother Kashab brought out, that you just succumb, to the demons fucking over you.
Because if I can, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's why when they say every man is drawn away, he's drawn away after his own lust.
Mhm.
Because these are things that you actually desire.
Right.
You actually, you yourself actually want to go do that shit.
Right.
Yeah, to back you up, the scriptures say, when you be tempted, don't say the Lord tempt me.
Right.
Yeah,
Nah, the Lord not tempting you. It's Satan tempting you through your lusts.
exactly.
Right.
And I wanted to make this point because ultimately it said that a righteous man gonna fall 7 times, right? And you went into completion.
Yeah.
Until we get out of these bodies, right? This fleshly bodies, we gonna continue to sin. So that means all the way until we get on the chariots, Lord willing, that's the men you see before you and those that are consciously listening on the other side of the camera. But until we get beamed up, we gonna continue to sin.
Right.
Yeah. So just going into what you were saying, just because we in these flesh bodies don't mean, give up.
Right.
You got to keep fighting.
You got precept to back up. This John chapter 1, verse 15. I'll just start there. I'll start up a little bit, but it's cool. It says John bear witness of him and cried, saying, "This was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me." We understand that's talking about Yahweh Shai, right, being the first spirit to be created. It says, "And of his fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach."
So we know, the role of Yahweh Shai being the mediator, between us, between Yahweh and us, our Heavenly Father, and us, but again, that grace is coming through him. So you have to give the utmost respect to Yahweh Shai. You know, for the people that's talking about disregard Yahweh Shai doesn't matter. You know, that's complete nonsense and bugness. You know, but again, you know, through the grace which is coming through Yahweh Shai. All right, the Yahweh Shai has the power and the order to give out that grace to whom he wants. You know.
Yeah, because it said that the law was given by Moses.
Right.
Right. After the deliverance.
Yep.
These are the ways that we should abide by. These are the things that are due. But the Lord, the Most High, understood that. Look, they're not gonna be able to do that in those bodies. Yep. So look, I'm gonna send Yahweh Shai, and that's gonna be where the grace comes through. That's why he said, whosoever shall believeth on him, you know, everything lies in the hands of Yahweh Shai, man. You know.
I got something.
Good.
Let's keep it sick, right?
Yeah, this gonna back you up right quick, Rashad. This Galatians 2:16. It says, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Even we have believed in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, that we might be justified by the faith of Hamashiach, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. And that back up what you just said, like with the law of Moses, the Most High knew in these bodies we wouldn't be able to keep the law perfectly, right? And that's why he sent Yahweh Shai, and him sending Yahweh Shai, right? And you know, utilizing our faith, that was like a foreshadowing to the grace, right? Because there's grace in the faith that we have. That's where that mercy comes from.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your precept.
Yeah, I got something to back y'all up on the grace and mercy. It's Psalms 118:1, and it reads, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for He is good, because His mercy endure forever." And I bring this precept out because the Lord had enough mercy on us to give us His grace period. Utterly, the grace period really just for the elect, to learn from our mistakes, to get it right. You know what I'm saying? And that's a great mercy the Lord gave us. You know what I'm saying? You know, that grace period, we can actually, you know, when we do wrong, we feel bad for remorseful. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord still have mercy on us. Well, I know that's when Yahweh Shai come. Well, he trying, Lord. Because Yahweh Shai is our mediator. Well, he trying, Lord. You know, he make mistakes, but he gonna get it. And that's the mentality we gotta have too. Like, well, I messed up, but I'm gonna do better. You know what I'm saying? That Lord gives us that mercy to keep going.
And he give out examples. Like I brought out, I had you bring out in Genesis 6 with Noah. All right, when Noah was building that ark, you know, he was listening to Yahweh Shai. All right, and the people around him didn't think that, you know, that it's going to be no type of rain. You know, rain wasn't a thing back then. All right, the earth used to get its moisture from the dew from the ground, you know, at the beginning. So hearing that it's going to be rain, it's going to be flood, you know, things that's going to be happening, people didn't want to believe that. All right, but through the faith that Noah had into Yahweh Shai, that's what led him to build the ark and continue to listen to the Lord, and he was saved. All right, along with his sons and his wives, his sons and, you know, their wives. You know, Hebrews 8.
This is the book of Hebrews chapter 8, starting at 6. But now has he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is a mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon a better promise.
You can start right there. Being a mediator to, what is it, the covenant to a better promise? So, you know, again, Yahweh Shai being that mediator, all right, for the new covenant that's coming in, all right, which the new covenant is not here for those people who believe that, all right? Because when we're going to be in a new covenant, that means that, you know, we're going to be fully righteous, all right? Everything, the law, statutes, commandments is going to be in our inward parts, you know, which is furthermore going to say in that Hebrews. But continue.
Verse 7. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
You can stop right there. And that's backing up what the brother Kashab brought up. Okay, because we understand that the law is perfect. All right, nothing is wrong with the law. So what went wrong with the first covenant was us. All right, we went off, and the flesh that we had, we went off from the law, statutes, commandments.
And that also a cut to you Christian that says everybody under the second covenant.
Right.
You just said under Israel and Judah. You got it.
Hey, I'm gonna back up what you said with a precept, because one might say you just saying that the law is perfect. No,
Right.
the scripture's finna tell you. This Psalms 19:7. It says the law of the Lord is perfect,
Yeah.
converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
So again, the only thing that's separating us from not, being able to hold the law is what we said earlier, this flesh. All right. So once you get the flesh out of the equation, all right, and the law, statute, commandments in our inward parts, if that's what we are, what we do by default, that's how you can keep the law, to its perfection. All right. So the Lord, again, with the law, it doesn't do nothing but teach us how to rule, teach us how to judge certain things, and give us the wisdom, knowledge, understanding to for everything needed in life, But you have more than that Hebrews.
You go down maybe.
Yeah, we just go down to 11, just for the new covenant sake.
Verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant,
Right.
and I regarded them not, says Yahweh. For this covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahweh, I will put my laws into their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people.
Yeah. So we're not at that point yet. All right. Because again, clearly, we don't have the law, statute, commandments in our inward parts. We're constantly still going off day by day. Okay. So we know that when it happens, that's when the earth is going to be ruled and it's going to be how it's supposed to be. Once you see that the Lord's people is in their right mind. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we die then? Why we still die if we in the new covenant?
Right. Yeah.
That's a simple question, which they fail to realize. If we was in a new covenant, we would obviously have the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, which in turn would state that we don't die. But yet we still here. Nobody immortal yet.
Right.
Ain't nobody immortal yet. So I don't get it.
The simple math equation: the wages of sin equals death. Wage plus sin equals death. So if people are constantly dying, that means people are constantly sinning. Okay. Still got your precept?
I'm about to say real quick.
You got it.
I also tell you whoever perished being innocent. So if everybody was so righteous and the law done away with, we just under grace, how they think, oh, we can eat whatever we want. Or like you said, the wage plus sin equals death. And whoever perished being innocent.
Right.
Just don't make no sense.
And that comes with having this understanding, man. Once you have the understanding of the scriptures and you see that, all right, that opens your mind to so much, man. All right, just that sense that that our people are saying in this world, poor baby, that baby never did nothing. Why him? He was in school, he was about to go to college, he had a 4.0 GPA, but somehow he was downtown at the club, and when somebody came and shot the club up, he was the only person that got killed. Nah, because he did something in his past life, he wasn't innocent, and the Lord, came to collect that ticket.
Yahushua wasn't innocent.
Right.
Even though he walked perfectly in his last reincarnation,
right,
he came back, he wasn't innocent.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's you have to think of that. All right. So if you see, again, land backing on you, brother, if you have the Lord, who is the most perfect example, the example, to come down here to do everything correctly, all right, it tells you that I forget to the third to the fourth generation. If brother could get that on deck for me, Bob Bishop. 20 and 4.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it, man. We have to pay for the sins that we committed in our lives. All right. And with that being said, that's what wants you to stay close to the Lord. All right. Because what we brought out earlier, the Lord has the power to pardon you away from that. All right. So to pardon you away from that and have mercy on you with the bullshit that you've done. If not, you're definitely 100% going to be knocked off by the Lord. All right. Even though there will be men that's still going to pass away in the truth, that's doing the right thing, but that's according to the Lord's will. But we know the end of their story is more glory. All right. We know that they're going to meet with us in the chariots. All right.
Got something real quick.
Come on.
It's Matthew 16 and 28. It says, "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom."
God. All right. And the Lord ordained it, man. All right. It's going to be some men that's going to walk a great path. All right. A good slate, you know, being here with the Lord and won't receive death. All right. That's what we hope that we all can go through. Nobody want to have to go through the feelings of death and what it's like to die. All right. Having that adrenaline pumping and knowing that it's over with, it's a scary feeling, you know, to even be in a minor situation where you're injured. So imagine death, you know? So, you said something else.
What? The scripture?
Yeah. Read it one more time.
It says, "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom."
God. And seeing the Lord come, man. So that's going to be obviously a glorious, beautiful feeling to see, you know, our Lord coming back in his power to save us, you know, and to not taste death and to be renewed in your body, to be unlike unto the Lord. That's going to be beautiful, man.
I brought that out to show that is all about grace, though.
Right.
You know, it's all about what you brought the word grace out. I think one of the words in there was favor.
God.
Right? In which the elect are the Lord's favorite, right?
Right.
I say all the time, these are the men that's handpicked, cherry-picked by the Lord, man.
God.
You know? So that goes to show you it's not about sin, it's not about what you did, but it's ultimately of the Lord's mercy and of his grace, man. All right? And what's the grace came by who? Yahweh Shai. And ultimately, those are the men that was with Yahweh Shai from the beginning. You see? And that, like, come on, bro.
Get that Exodus from me.
This is Exodus 20 and verse 5. It says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me."
So that was the precept to bring out that, you know, people paying for their sins, you know, and it could possibly come within the second to the third generation. All right. You want to?
No, he had a point that he had said that I wanted to bring out, and that, you know, just about us being basically, you know, with Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, you know, since the beginning. This is John 15 and verse 27, and it says, "And ye also," it's speaking of the elect, "shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning." So just like backing up what that brother said about us, you know, what the elect, you know, whoever the elect may be, in which we believe, you know, we are, Lord willing, a part of that number. Hey, look, you know, we was with Yahweh Shai, you know, since the beginning, you know, helping him, you know, to create everything, you know.
This is to back your brothers up. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, "They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect."
You got it.
And the Lord, the grace and mercy really only for the elect. The Lord cares for the elect. He loves the elect. As a whole, Israel always will be saved, but on this side, the 140,000 will make online with the great move. That's the elect. The great move too, along with the 140,000. Only the elect will make it on this side, man. That's who grace and mercy is for. You know what I'm saying? We go and the elect, we trust in him. Even though we mess up on our walk, you know what I'm saying? The Lord picks us back on. We go keep going, man. We ain't gonna give up because we trust in the Lord. You gotta make a point.
You make a point.
If I could say, because what it say that the angels holding the four winds until that number gets sealed, though, right? So it's all for the elect. It's all for that remnant. But you got it.
Read that first part again, Baba Shah.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9. It reads, "They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect."
So it comes with understanding, all right? Putting your fear in, you know, fear in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, all right? That's going to introduce you into what you need to be doing, all right? again, which is pretty much learning what and what not to do through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through these scriptures, man. You know, you got the precept?
Yeah.
No, bring it up. Whatever you got.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves is a gift of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
I believe that came out. But again, read that last part again, verse 8.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and not of yourselves. That is a gift of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Read 9.
Verse 9. Not of works, lest any man should boast.
Not of works, lest any man should boast. All right. So the Lord is keeping you away from that pride of, you know, I did this. All right. I did this work. I did what, you know, I you know, because that could definitely be the outcome of a lot of people in this world. All right. But we know that the Lord hates pride. So keeping man away from pride, keeping us away from pride. All right. We are saved by his grace, all right? We are saved by having faith into Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and believing in him to do those works, you know, that he requires us to do, you know?
I got a precept to back that up.
You got it.
This is Titus 3 and verse 5. It says, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit. Right, basically, you know, giving us this word, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And it says, which he shed on us abundantly through Yahushua Hamashiach, our Savior. It says that being justified by his grace, we should be made heirs according to the hope of eternal life.
You got it.
So, yeah, man, you know, Yahushua is the author and benefactor of everything. When you go through the scriptures, Yahushua justifies us. He's our righteousness, right? He's the rock. He's the stone, right? Everything. He even says that. I believe in the book of Hebrews it says that, and this goes back in what the brother Kashab brought out when it talks about Moses brought out the law. Yeah, but grace and mercy came through Yahushua, man, right? And when you go through the book of Hebrews, it tells you that what? It says that he's better than Moses, right? He said, yeah, Moses was faithful and was faithful in all his house, right? But this house that's coming is going to be better, man. You know? But you got it.
Precept. Y'all down here? Precept.
Yeah, I got you.
Go ahead, you got it.
This John 1 and 17. You bring this up?
Yeah.
You bring this up?
Yeah.
Good. You got something? Come. You can bring up the Proverbs now.
Okay. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, and verse 16. The man that wanted out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So, you know, backing up what the brother was saying, you know, with the understanding, all right, having understanding of the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, that's what's going to give you that life and going to give you, you know, more opportunities for this grace period, all right? That's what you should be working on in this grace period of building, all right, more wisdom, all right? Because if you don't, what it tells you, you should remain in the congregation of the dead. You should remain in the congregation of the dead, all right? Being those dry bones. Brother, hold on deck. I think it's Ezekiel 36. 37. Ezekiel 37 and 5. Yeah.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 5. It says, Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
Yeah. You got more?
Yeah, I can read 6. It says, and I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
So that breath of life, man, which is, you know, the law, statutes, commandments, ultimately. Okay. But again, you don't want to be those dry bones, you know, being of the congregation of the dead, walking out of wisdom. All right. So that's letting you know that that wisdom pretty much is going to give you those Lenten of days. It's going to give you that extra time to work. All right, and ultimately receive the kingdom. All right, and that's plain and simple. All right. Yeah, get that Proverbs for me. You got something else? Oh, they got more.
No, that was it.
Come, we're gonna get that. Then we're gonna.
I got something for you too. I've been holding.
Come. Yeah. Yeah. 3 and 13.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is a man that findeth wisdom, and a man that getteth understanding.
Keep going.
Verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Verse 15.
Yeah, keep going.
Verse 15. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Verse 16. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor.
Right there. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left riches and honor. All right. So that's again what Sophia. That's what that wisdom is going to give you. All right. It went on before that, telling you that is more precious, you know, than rubies, and you know, pretty more richer than anything that you could ever get. You know. But the point I wanted to get in that, you can read a little bit more, talks about the length of days. All right. That's how you're going to extend, you know, throughout dealing with Sophia, you know. Keep going.
Back in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 16. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Verse 17. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Verse 8.
Yeah, read that last part. 18.
Verse 18. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold unto her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her.
Happy is everyone that retaineth her. What these is?
Fucking gnats, brother.
Yeah, that shit taking over. But it tells you on 18, it says verse 17, her ways are the ways of pleasant, and all her paths are peace. All right. So receiving that peace, man, that shows you, you know, the importance of wisdom. All right, the importance of searching for Sophia. All right. You got it.
This is Proverbs 4. I'm going to start at verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding.
Read that part where it says, forsake her not, and she will preserve thee.
Come. All right, Proverbs verse 4 and 5, 4 and 6, Salaki. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee.
So again, that's the part I wanted to hearken on. Forsake her not, and she will preserve thee. All right. So throughout this madness and all this bullshit that's going on, you know, here in this grace period, that's how you're going to be preserved, man. All right. And the Lord, you know, gives you many examples. You know, first and foremost, one of the biggest examples being with King Solomon. You know, that King Solomon prayed for wisdom. All right, and received everything. All right, peace, in pretty much anything you could pretty much ask for. You know, through wisdom.
Let me get verse 9 for y'all.
You got it.
All right, verse 9. She shall give to thy head an ointment of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver unto thee. And let's talk about wisdom. How getting this wisdom will get you the glory of being the first fruits of the kingdom. So you got it up.
You got it.
Yo, but you know,
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, that's Wisdom of Solomon. Just to back you brothers up about wisdom. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 17, and it reads, Now, when I considered these things in myself and pondered them in my heart, how that to be allied to wisdom is immortality. And that's what we strive. That's why we strive for wisdom, because wisdom is immortality. That's perfection.
Right.
And that's what we're constantly seeking for. The elect. Utterly, when we get the new bodies, we will be perfection, but that wisdom equals immortality. That's what we constantly strive for, that perfection. That's why we constantly seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, bro.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Right.
That's why when I bring out in this Proverbs chapter 4, it says, wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You got it out.
I got some.
Yeah, I got a precept real quick. You know, part of, you know, like the brothers are saying, us having wisdom is what the keeping of the law, statutes, and commandments, right? And the scriptures tell you that, hey, if we do this, this will be the wisdom in the sight of the nations, right?
Right.
This is just real quick, Sirach 19 and verse 19. It says, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please Him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. So, like the brother was saying, that's what we're striving for, man. You know what I'm saying? Now we know we have to have the faith, right, through the grace and mercy, okay, and we also need the works, okay. But this is that work inside, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to the laws, man.
Read it one more time about
myself. This is Sirach 19 and 19. It says, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please Him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Should receive the fruit of what's the last word?
The tree of immortality.
Immortality. All right. So again, brother brought out, earlier, it's going to be some of us that's not going to taste death. All right. And why? It's because they've been pursuing wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They've been pursuing Sophia, in these troubled times. All right. And that's how you're going to be saved out of this thing. That's how you're going to show favor to the Lord, by dealing with Sophia as He told you to do so.
Right, just to add on to you, we basically, on this side, when we turned a new leaf, right, repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah, we've been able to eat basically the fruits of righteousness, right? We've basically been eating off the tree of life, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And which basically gets us closer and closer to Yahweh Shema Shah before His coming, basically being made a perfect man.
Hold on, take Baruch 3 and 8. 3 and 8. Y'all got something for both?
Come on, you guys. No, I got it.
You got it.
On this book of Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10, it reads, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the whole is understanding.
The fear of the Lord is, one more time?
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
All right. And fear also is the beginning of His love as well. All right, so that's how you show that love and that reverence to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, the step-by-step playbook, man.
I got one more verse for y'all.
Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 9, verse 11, and it reads, For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased.
Should be increased, all right? Just plainly off of wisdom, man. Just harken on the importance of wisdom, man. And it's plain and simple at this point, Any more?
That was it, huh?
You say you still got some, Kalai?
I was holding that old fin less for you still.
Nah,
it's on you.
Yeah, I got another one.
You could dump it.
I got another one. Just going into wisdom.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Sirach 6 and verse 18. It says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up. It says, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age.
Shall thou find wisdom in their old age. All right, so as soon as you could latch on and discover wisdom, stick to it. All right, stick to it and hold on for dear life. All right, because that's going to be the keys to success. All right, that's going to be the keys of to the kingdom, to your crown. All right.
Yeah, the next verse kind of just backs up what you're saying. It says, and basically going into putting in work. It says, verse 19. It says, come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. It says, for thou shalt not toil much, or so like it toil much, in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon.
You want to say something?
Yeah, and like I said, earlier, basically us, coming back to Yahweh Shema Shah, we're being able to what? Eat the fruits of righteousness, right? Which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, which gives us what? Wisdom, man. You know what I'm saying? We got that, basically that we've been illuminated. We got that glow about us. All right.
You got it, but no.
It's just a quick one backing y'all up.
Speak up, brother.
This is a quick precept just backing y'all up. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Kind of just backing that up. You know, brothers talked about like the fear of the Lord. That's the beginning of wisdom. And as it says in the precept, it's like wisdom's going to preserve us in these times of trouble that we're going to come into.
Yeah. So the Lord is, again, he's letting you know what you need to be doing, in this grace period, how to defend yourself, and just everything concerning your crown, and everlasting, life and peace,
Yeah, I want to say this on that last part. It says, in the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Yep.
And ultimately a treasure is something that you hold close to your heart. All right, that's what's gonna keep us walking that straight path. The fear of the Lord. All right, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all right, and the heathen, they don't fear the Lord, and that's why they're gonna succumb to the plagues, right? And ultimately to the debt, man. Okay, to all manners of debt. All right. But nevertheless, it's the fear of the Lord that's gonna be our treasure in the day when it's all chaos,
Get that Baruch from me, Baruch Shah.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
All right, so we are here in our captivity, through the wickedness that pretty much that we've done in our past lives, that our forefathers have done in their past lives, all the way up to this point. All right, but continue. You're gonna read down to like 15, 14.
Verse 9, it says, hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
It says, hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. All right, so being here in our captivity, till this day, the Lord is telling us to do something. And read that one more time. What is he telling us to do?
Verse 9?
Yeah.
Verse 9, it says, hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
All right, keep going.
How happeneth, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead.
Defiled with the dead, all right? Which we brought out earlier, these dry bones, these people that are without the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they're considered dead, all right? Continue.
It says, verse 11, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. It says that thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. All right, so that's been the repercussion of falling away from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, not seeking wisdom. All right, you've been all together with the walking dead. Continue.
It says, for if thou hast walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldest have dwelt in peace forever.
One more time.
It says, for if thou hast walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldest have dwelt in peace forever.
It says, for if thou hadst walked in the way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. All right? So that's what we're getting back to. That's what we're trying to get back to. All right? And ultimately, what we're going to get in the kingdom. All right? Being with wisdom, having wisdom, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding in our inward parts, and that's going to go on to everlasting peace. All right? We should have one more verse, bro.
Yeah. Verse 14, it says, learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eye and peace.
Learn where is wisdom, where is strength. All right, so wisdom is strength. All right, where is understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, that thou mayest know also where is the length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. All right, this all comes through Sophia. All right, it's another one that I believe is it Wisdom of Solomon 7, I believe, or Wisdom of Solomon 8.
I got one quick too.
Con, you got it. Let me get this precept.
Come on. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. And we know that fearing the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. So if we fearing the Most High and we keeping the commandments, we walking in wisdom. You got it.
Yeah, plain and simple. And what it tell you is the whole duty.
Whole duty of man.
It's the whole duty of man. So that's your purpose in life. All right. Everything that we've been taught, since young, to work 40 years in the workforce and try to get a retirement and be retired before 45, so you can enjoy your 50s and your 60s. That's just bullshit, man. All right. The whole duty is to serve the Lord. For you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, we're not supposed to be out here doing this bullshit. All right, and this bullshit work and slaving is not going to be for us in the kingdom. All right, we're meant to be judges and rulers. All right, henceforth, what these scriptures are teaching us how to operate and what to do. You got it.
This is Sirach 6 and 33, and it says, "If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bind thy ear, thou shalt be wise." It says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise, and be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parable of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Let thy mind be upon his ordinance of Yahweh, and meditate continually in his commandment. He shall establish thy heart and give thee wisdom at thy own desire."
Go up a little bit more where it talks about the doorstep.
It says, "Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parable of understanding escape thee." And it says, "If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door."
God. So that's where your dwelling place, that's where you want to be, man. All right, you want to constantly be around men of understanding, that's going to pretty much keep you up in the spirit. All right, because if you go around the congregation of the dead, you're going to become of the dead. All right, so you want to walk around these men, that's speaking these words of life, hearkening to it and walk and hold on to it dearly.
I got a precept back in that up too.
God,
Real quick, that's why I said though, when thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time continually. So it's a balance to both.
Yeah.
Because we ain't always gonna be wrong brothers.
Right.
Middle of Jacob's trouble, you might be by yourself. A bunch of fucking bug outs, man.
Yeah. But the Lord again is telling you to use this time wisely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So being here in this grace period, use this time wisely to cleave unto wisdom, cleave unto men that has this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which we believe come from our elders. Well, first and foremost through the Spirit to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Who we believe teach 144% truth.
Yeah, I got a precept.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs. This is Proverbs 13 and 20, and it says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." Showing that the men that you're supposed to be around, it's the brotherhood, and if you cleave unto them, you'll be wise. You'll learn wise things. They'll teach you the things of the scriptures, and they'll give you wisdom. But if you be around the companions of fools, you're only gonna be getting folly.
Oh, Cabal. They got the precept in the G&T, I believe, where it talks about find the excuse to get away from stupid people. Is that what it is? Yeah. Forget it in the G&T version. You heard it, Cabal 32 and 17. Yeah, but read that one more time, Amos.
This is Proverbs 13
in verse 20, and it says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise,
Mm-hmm.
but a companion of fools shall be destroyed."
What what's the worldly saying of birds of a feather flock together? All right, so we use that in the sense of dumb people being with dumb people, but that could also be used in the sense of righteous men. All right, so if righteous men is constantly around righteous men, they're going to deal with nothing but righteousness. All right, that's their whole goal and objective. All right, but if you're dealing with a group of people that's just completely niggas, that's out here doing this and that and the third of bullshit, that's what you're going to be considered as. Everything is being done with that.
And like the scripture said, man, iron sharpen iron.
Mm-hmm.
So the men that you dealing with and that knows what you talking about, they're gonna help build you up. But if you hanging around a 2/3 bug out, they wouldn't really be able to teach you the same thing. The only thing they're gonna do is just dog you out.
God. Yeah, and me and the brother, I got your precept next. Me and the brother Kalai, went into with a lesson too. Ultimately, these people that we're constantly around, man, they don't have the answers, dealing for our salvation. All right, that's why it's really hard to even take any type of advice from them. All right, so you dealing with a brother. All right, brother's gonna bring out precepts. Brother's gonna make sure that you are okay in the spirit and that your spirits are lifted. All right, or rebuke you if you're doing something wrong to get you back on the right path. But if you're dealing with a nigga in the world, what's a nigga mindset? Fuck it. You already did it. Just deal with just nonsense that is gonna just make you think in your head, like why did I even ask you this? Like these you have none of the answers to the questions that I have, or the solutions to the problems that I'm dealing with. All right, and if you feel in that type of way, that means that you do not need to be around that person. All right.
Basically, the only thing you can learn from a fool is how to be a fool. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Exactly.
There's no talking to a fool, bro.
Right.
You can't utter knowledge to a fool. They ain't gonna get it.
Let me get this right quick.
Go ahead.
This I got two precepts because it's backing up what y'all saying.
Yeah.
This the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 16, and it says, "The talking of a fool is like a burden in the way, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. They inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder his words in their heart. As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool, and the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense." It's pretty much backing up everything that you brothers were saying. When we try to give 2/3 or just 2/3 in general, there's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's like speaking another language to them, which it really is. It truly is another language to them, and that's why they can't comprehend it.
Right.
That's why the scriptures tell you, cast not your pearls to the swine.
Right.
Okay, at least they be trampled over.
Yeah.
All right, but let me jump to the next chapter. All right, chapter 22. All right, this Sirach 22 and 13. It says, "Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that hath no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness." So stay away from a fool, man.
Right.
Which we understand that can't be 100% of the time. We have to go to work. We have family members. All right, things that we must do in the world. So just monitor your time around these people who are without wisdom.
Right.
Yeah,
use your time wisely. All right. Again, what you can do is options of what you can do in this grace period right now. All right. You can go and constantly go out every weekend with niggas who don't have the answers to your solutions, anything dealing with your salvation. All right, and become like unto them, or you can use it and be around righteous men. All right, but again, what the brother was going into, if you have to deal with these people, that's where you can use wisdom around them. All right, to avoid these conversations. All right, you got to understand, having this truth, man, this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. A lot of places that we go, you are the orchestrator of how you want everything to go around you.
That's what brothers always say. Hey man, I be lying so much to these people at work, bro.
Yeah.
I be forgetting that I lied to them about this.
God.
But you know, we can lie to those people, man. They ain't in the truth.
Right.
You know, that's called using righteous finesse, man.
Yeah. God.
Like David, you know, he started acting retarded, foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
He wasn't retarded.
He
though.
can't say the R word.
Oh man. Oh man. Go ahead.
If I can say, because Yahushua even told us, we've been sent out among wolves. You see? So if you holding it, you know, let the scripture speak.
Yeah, this is what I was holding for you, though, bro.
Yeah, good.
This I think they got another one too. You might be talking about the other one, but let's go with it. This-
Why
No,
the circle
no.
on this? I think you was going.
No, I wasn't holding that.
But you got it. Go ahead.
This is Sirach 13 and 16. The point is 17. It says all flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his light. What fellowship had the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly.
It have no reason of being together. You know,
No relation.
no relations at all. You know, a sinner. You know, you don't want, as a person that's godly. You know, somebody that's trying to be holy. You're trying to separate yourself away from that type at all costs. All right. That's why we hearken to. All right. If I'm going out somewhere, I would preferably like to be with a brother.
Right.
You know, I can call up a couple of my friends in the world and we could go do this and that and the third. But do I really want to deal with what might comes with that? No.
Right.
All right.
Because like it compared the sinner with the godly and the lamb with the
wolf.
With the wolf.
the lamb with the wolf. They clean contrary from another.
Yeah.
All right.
And can two walk together lest they be
Lest they
agreed?
be agreed. Yep.
Con, hey, can you read verse 1 for me? Because that's what I was doing. Like,
Verse
man, I
1?
could just knock it out. Yeah.
It's Sirach 13.
Yeah.
Sirach 13 and 1. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith.
Right. So if you, what is pitch? It's tar, right? And what do we don't want? Basically, we don't want a spiritual. We're just going to go into. We don't want a spiritual connection with somebody that's an unbeliever at all. Not even close. But if you touch pitch, if you touch it, it's connected to you. It's hard to get off. You know what I'm saying? So if you like this brother said earlier, birds of the same feather flock together, right? You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be amongst those men when it's time for judgment. But go ahead.
And he that had fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him.
Right. So if you hanging around a proud man all the time, right? He's gonna, you know, some of that proudness is gonna leak onto you. You know, spirit's gonna rub off on you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to even be a proud man. It could be somebody that's constantly angry, right? Or somebody that's a habitual liar. You know what I'm saying? Is whatever way or type of person that is, and you're hanging around them constantly, that's who you're gonna become, right? You're gonna start to pick up bad habits. What you got?
And if I could say it, and vice versa. That's what we was going into on that video we did. Right? When newer brothers come around, that's why it's urged that, you know, he get around older brothers, so it can work in the opposite effect, you know, so he can start picking up on how to walk godly, man.
Good habits.
You know?
Something you said, I got to pre-sub something you touched on earlier, because you said a two-third nigga basically was talking about food. They just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing wrong. This Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23, and it reads, It is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding have wisdom. So a fool, he just gonna keep doing wrong.
Right.
Fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing that. Lord, man, I ain't tripping. I got time. No, man, you get, for the wicked, it's a sport to do it, bro. Friends of the world, they fools, bro. They just keep doing. I'm sure we all got pots that keep doing wrong shit over and over again, bro. You don't want to be around that. When you speak wisdom to them, they look at you like, man, this nigga I don't need to talk about. Come on now, you want to say something?
It's at this point in time that, you know, we washed our hands on the situation. All right. Trust me, everybody came in this truth wanting to tell the world about everything that you understand. All right. And those people that you love dearly, you done went and tried to have that conversation with them, but it didn't work. All right. And it hurts that it didn't work. All right. But you maybe tried again. But the more wisdom and understanding that you started getting in this truth and knowing that, okay, they just not going to get this, and just pretty much wash your hands and be done with it, you did all you could, you know? You say you want to say something?
Yeah, but that's why the scriptures tell you a wise man and a dim sinner will be aware. Of
Oh, I
his
was
offense.
holding it.
You was holding that?
Yeah, let me grab it right quick.
But a fool, he won't. Like, he just
observe the time.
fucking willy-nilly. You know?
I got it for you right here. Sirach 18 and 27.
That's it.
And it reads, it says, a wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will be aware of offenses. But a fool will not observe the time. Let me see. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that sounds like YOLO. All right.
Yep.
Back in the day, it used to be called YOLO. You only live once. So if you only live once, go ahead and do whatever you want. Smoke as much as you want. You know, do whatever drug of choice if you want. Deal with any type of woman that you want. You know, you only live in this life once. But that's just a quick highway to destruction, you know. And we're gonna get last part, but Buckshot, get that for me. Football. We're gonna sweep through and end it off.
All right, it's Sirach, I think chapter 27, verse 12 in the GNT. It says, when you find yourself with stupid people, look for some excuse to leave. But when you are with serious-minded people, stay as long as you can.
Stay as long as you can. Plain and simple. If you find your way around stupid people, find a way to leave, you know? Because one thing you don't want to get caught up with is with another person's judgment, all right? Which that's another factor that brothers got to incorporate in their mind, all right? If you're going around with a nigga that you know that's constantly doing wrong, constantly doing bullshit, you know, again, when we say wages of sin equals death, so if you're somebody who's continue to sin and has the Lord has them in their crosshairs, you don't want to get there and catch a straight bullet, you know? So that it behoove you to stay around righteous men, you know, who has that protection, that hedge around them, you know, or just stay out of the way, you know? You want to say something?
Yeah.
I got something.
Because ultimately, you know, on this side, yeah, you might catch some backlash, all right? You from your best friends, your family members, whatever the case may be. But like we were saying in that video, and I'm gonna keep hinting to that because you know, that's gonna ruffle feathers. Yeah. It's gonna ruffle feathers. You can't walk this truth without ruffling feathers, man.
Right.
Because these people, they want your time, they want your affection, you know, things of that nature. But hey, just leave it to the Lord. You know, hey, the Lord got you through all sorts of things. He, you know, in the kingdom, they'll get their time. Okay. But right here, right now, we got business to handle. Okay. You know.
Hey, you read it in the KJV?
No, straight GNT.
Okay, this in the KJV, Sirach 27 and 12. It says, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but continually among men of understanding, the discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
In the wantonness of sin. All right, so that's pretty much that they all about, man. All right, that's their character. That's their whole MO is going to be just dealing with nothing but sin. All right,
nothing but wickedness,
nothing
adultery.
Yeah.
What does Jake talk about, brother? Oh man, I just got on this loser hoe.
Yeah.
I know her nigga work at the job with me. You know?
Wicked as fuck.
But that's what it is. That's what their sport. That's what it says. Their sport is in the wantonness of sin. So that's what they indulge their pleasures in. Though they just want to go. You'll tell Jake, man, bro, that shit wicked. Yeah. All these hoes, man, they got.
But what does she want me?
Yeah, we heard that 1,000 times.
That's on him.
I don't know, dog.
She got a nigga,
that's
but
on him.
She want me. She want me though.
Yeah. Got one for you.
That's sick. Kai, y'all got?
I got some. Yeah, I got some.
Kai, let me. Sweet.
This is 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 14. And it says, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
That's what the brother quoted earlier.
Yeah.
It says, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness?
Yeah.
And what you
Go ahead.
Polar opposites though.
Yeah.
And what concord have Hamashiach with Belial? Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement have the temple of the Most High with idols?
For ye are the temples of the living power, as the Most High has said. I will dwell with them and walk in them. I will be their power, and they shall be my people. The point is in verse 17. It says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith Yahweh, and touch not unclean things, and I will receive you.
Yeah. So that's plain and simple, man. You want to be separate away from things that is polar opposite. You know, if it's something polar opposite of what I like to do, I don't want to be around it. And that's plain and simple. You know, that didn't even have to be on a spiritual level. All right. If I don't smoke and it's people around me that is constantly smoking,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in anywhere in that room because I don't smoke.
Yeah, and you know, and if you be around them, you know, you really fighting the urge to just get away because it's just something that you just can't do. No matter how much you just try to stick it out for them, it's just something in your spirit, like just I just don't want to be here. You know?
Yeah. You got it.
God, it's Sirach to the 12 verse 6, and it reads, for the most high hate of sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of the punishment. And I bring the priest out because
No, he hate the sin.
yep, that's what I put said. The church, what the church say? You got it out.
No, just read it again.
Yeah, it said
It's the most I hate what?
for the most Sirach to the 12 verse 6, for the most high hate of sinners,
No, he hated sin.
for the most high hate of sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. And what the church like to say, the Lord loved the sinner, but hates the sin. That's not biblical.
Right.
We just read the Lord hate of sinner. That's a fool's mentality.
Yeah.
Right. You got it.
But us coming into the spirit of the Lord, we ain't sin as well.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all. Yeah.
You got it.
Kind. I'm gonna get one to back you up, but then I got another one for my point. This is Psalms 5:5, just to back you up. It says, the foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Right? Just backing you up. And this is the one that, for the point that we've been talking about. This is Exodus 23 and verse 2. It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after meaning to rush judgment. Right? So, basically, I'm just gonna quote the Zaquan, if you're the smallest person in your crew, don't hop in the car because it may be your last ride, basically. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like we were saying earlier, you basically don't have a friendship, a bond, a covenant, a pact, an agreement with somebody that's basically of the world. Yeah, you may have to hang around them for a time just to pass the time, but then you're out of there as soon as you can.
Right.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Like you said in that's the rock in the GNT. Find an excuse to leave. That's the smartest. That's how you use your wisdom to get away from that bullshit. You got it.
This is Proverbs 14:7 in the Amplified Bible. Leave the presence of a short-sighted fool, for you would not find knowledge or hear godly wisdom from his lips.
You got it.
That
That's
just-
but you got it.
It's just to back up everything, man. There's no point of hanging out with people that's not in the truth. You're not going to get no edification from them. You're not going to get no spiritual uplifting. You're just going to get worldly knowledge. You got it right.
Yeah. And again, to reiterate, sometimes you're going to have to do it. But again, control it. This is your playing field. All right. So you control it with the wisdom that the Lord has given you through the Spirit. You got something else?
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 3. The NLT. Sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. Verse 4. A wise person thinks a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time. Verse 5. Better to be criticized by a wise person than to be praised by a fool. God, it's better to be amongst wise men and to not be amongst these people in the world. These people in the world, they're going to get you into some bullshit. So it's best to be amongst like-minded men.
Yeah. If you're being praised by a fool, that means that you're obviously doing something foolish.
I'm just going to keep egging you on.
Right. Continue, your path down wickedness is what they're going to tell you to do. But being corrected by a righteous man is going to save your soul, man. Going to save you. You got more.
I can read it in KJV. That was it. That's all I had. I'll just read it in KJV real quick. This Ecclesiastes 7, verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, For by sadness is the countenance of the heart there. Slugging. Let me reread it. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Verse 5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the songs of fools.
That was playing. You got your precept?
Yes. This Sirach 33 and 14. It says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Yeah. You got it?
John, that's playing, but that was just backing up that point that we clean contrary to him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it.
Yeah, it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
You got something to hold?
No,
Good shot.
Yeah.
Got it, Kalai.
It's 2 Peter chapter 2 and 7, and it reads, it says, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. And this is in quotation, parentheses, it says, for that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Right? And that goes back to what that brother was saying about hearing the conversation of fools. You know, it vexes you.
Yeah.
All right, and it ultimately disgusts you. You know, it just disgusts you to your core, man.
Niggas talk about the same shit, brother.
Right.
Same shit we was in the world talking about 4 or 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, so on and so ever, man.
Yeah.
Same fucking shit.
Let me hit you with, go ahead.
Sports. Now you got the podcast niggas. So now they're talking about red pills, getting on a woman ass.
Yeah.
You know, streets. Same shit, bro. It's nothing that changes.
Yeah, let me hit you with one better. Since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Wickedness ain't changed. It just became greater here.
Yeah.
Jake been talking about the same shit since the beginning of time, man.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
But you got it.
No new thing under the sun, man. So if that was everybody, got the precepts off. We pray that this live camp was edifying. Trying to get out of here. We want to give infinite honors and prayers too.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect. You are you Aquat with your brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. And Ababa Ba,
Ababa Ba,
Ababa Ba,
Ababa Ba,
Ababa Ba,
Ababa Ba.
Kwame Yashara.
Kwame Yashara.
Shalom.
Shalom.